ช่วง Movie Tricks
Fee, fi, fo, fum. Ask not whence the thunder comes, for between heaven and earth is a perilous place, home to a fearsome giant race who hunger to conquer the mortals below, waiting for the seeds of revenge to grow.
The impetus for me to make this film was to take an idea from someone's childhood, an image you have of Jack climbing a beanstalk, encountering giants, and be able to realize that on a full real scale, but also assign it a story and bring more lore into it and create your own tale.
Are you ready, my brother?
Jack, he's not your typical hero. He's a young farmer. He's a bit of a dreamer and he's got that sense of adventure.
Where'd you get that?
Hey, that's no way to treat it.
The monks of Cloister trying to get the magic beans from being put into the wrong hands.
Take some men and find that monk.
A series of events. Jack ends up getting the beans.
They're holy relics. Don't lose them. Whatever you do, don't get them wet.
The princess, Isabella, she's sort of dissatisfied being a princess because she doesn't feel she has any freedom.
Let me show you how responsible I can be. Let me step outside without sending a dozen guards to rescue me.
Princess Isabel, she's fiery. That's what I love about her. She wants adventure. She goes round to Jack's house in the middle of a storm.
I hope you find what you're looking for, Your Highness.
Call me Isabel.
Eventually, the water hits this bean and up the beanstalk goes.
What?
The legends are true.
Elmont, assemble a team of your best men.
Yes, sir.
Bring back my daughter.
Your Majesty, I want to volunteer. For him to suddenly be on this journey is a big deal for him.
What do you suppose is up there?
I simply prepare for everything.
Like giants?
No, everything real.
We get up there and we don't know if there's any giants up there. You suddenly realise there's something amongst this forest.
The giant's been imprisoned in Ganshua for about 1,000 years. They kind of have the look of the earth in a way. They're not nature creatures. They're living, breathing beasts.
At last, mankind have returned.
They're uglier than I remember.
Fallon, the two-headed general, he's suddenly finding his power and his kingdom usurped.
The crime.
Yes, the crown.
Roderick, he has the druid crown. Whoever has the druid crown will be the king of the giants, and you can rule the world.
Tomorrow, you shall return below with me as your new king.
Are you mad?
I'm talking to giants at the moment.
Roderick, he's horribly kind of casually evil, but Fallon rules the roost. It's that simple.
Jack is not a professional giant slayer. Every time he gets involved in saving the princess and slaying a giant, it's always got to be something of fun.
It was fascinating just to see how they brought the giants to life and the world they created.
You're expecting someone?
There's lots of aspects of the story. There's humour and there's this romance and adventure to it.
Let's cut a few of them down to size, shall we?
It's got more kind of action in it than the fairy tale has. It's all quite impressive stuff. Looks really cool.
It's good to be back.
Ready?
It's a big production, you know. Today we're on blue screen set, but mainly we've been shooting in forests and fields and cathedrals.
We did build some rather large sets, which we needed because we had a lot of action taking place.
I saw your light and I'm lost.
And there's so much of the film that's going to be added digitally at the end. Every little help that you can get is really appreciated. There was air cannons and shaking rigs and rams built into the floor that I would run into and it'd lift me up as if a beanstalk had erupted through the floor.
It's been awesome. God, I love anything to do with it. Just a bit of mayhem on the set.
So what we see behind us is the base of the beanstalk, but it's not all there because digitally it'll be extended. It'll become a great big mass of tendrils going up.
You need to build part of the stalk so people can interact with it and be on it and then enhance it through visual effects.
It was scaffolding, plywood, then plaster. You look up at it, you think that's a long way up. You know, I wouldn't want to climb up there.
Well, we have done a bit of climbing training because we do quite extensive beanstalk climbing. Our beanstalk's meant to be like 5 miles high or something, so we have to do it in sections.
The thing about the beanstalk is you're climbing the beanstalk in armour, and then you get up the top, and then they say we're going to have the rain, and they throw water at you, and then they turn the fans on, and you're hit by wind. So you're basically up there, it's trying to make sure you don't fall off this beanstalk.
Fear of heights.
Fear of falling.
Well, then don't fall.
It's good fun. We've got, myself and Eddie Marzan and Ewan McGregor have just done a scene where they're firing crossbows and we're ziplining across huge gaps.
It was actually two pieces of stock. One was over on one side of the stage, the other was over on the other side, and we actually had the actors on a zip line.
Go get it!
This is a set of the edge of Gantua. We've taken basically a hillside here in Bournewood, and we've built a large cliffside with the top of a giant gargoyle.
When you first enter it, it looks like this. But once the giants appear, the scale completely changes. What are trees to us or toothpicks to them?
The most important thing was to establish to the design team it was an ancient world. The giants had a primitive mentality, so we built big areas.
The kitchen set where you're running around picking up giant knives and running across a kitchen table. So those sets are lots of fun to film on.
Jack, you're here.
I had this, Jack.
In addition to our giants being big, Gantua is huge. It's beyond anything you could build on a stage. So what we do is use virtual technology to make not only the giants, but to build the environments as well.
We tried to make it that once you were up in Gantua, it was unclear. You were in a maze of connecting rope bridges and walkways and arches. It was just this big universe created out of a chasm in the sky.
Here comes the thunder.
We have a lot of giants in there. We have a lot of technically very challenging things to do to get it exactly how Brian wants. This is a shot, I think, that shows really what animation can do here. And Brian really liked the idea of him free falling. We ended up, I think, with a really fantastic shot that shows that he's quite the badass leader.
Technology is quite overwhelming at times. But that being said, with finished putting the giants on and everything, it'll be very exciting to see.
Line it up!
All the sets that have been built are incredible. They're so realistic and shoot just beautifully on film.
Because of the scope and nature of it, because of the giants, this film is one that should be seen in a 3D theater.
Let's cut a few of them down to size, shall we?
That worked out better than I expected.
M Showbiz
เปิดตำนานการต่อสู้แห่งยอดกังฟูอันลือลั่นสู่ความยิ่งใหญ่ของเพลงหมัดหนึ่งเดียวกำราบศัตรูนับร้อยเหลียงเฉาเว่ยเป็นยิบหมัด The Grand Master ยอดปรมาจารย์ยิบหมัดสยบทั้งปัตภี7 มีนาคมนี้ในโรงภาพยนตร์ขอต้อนรับทุกท่านเข้าสู่ครอบครัวตระกูลแอบจิตสุดอำมหิตพิศวาสโปรดอย่ารบกวน Fox Searchlight Pictures ภาคภูมิใจเสนอภาพยนตร์เขย่าขวัญสยองระทึกจากผู้กำกับหนังทรงพลังโอบอยความลับคำลวงฆาตกรรมมันแฝงอยู่ในสายเลือดงดงามเร่าร้อนลึกลับจนต้องสั่นผวาสยองจนต้องสะพรึงกลัวมิอาวาซิคอฟสกานิโคลคิดแมนสโตเกอร์อำมหิตพิศวาสร้อนวันนี้ในโรงภาพยนตร์
The legends are true. The 7 little best men and bring back my daughter.
I want to volunteer.
Have we faded into legend?
Let's cut a few of them down to size.
That worked out better than I expected.
แจ็คผู้สยบยักษ์ฮอตพอตฮอตมูวี่อร่อยลุ้นรับอั่งเปาสุดหันษาฉลองตรุษจีนตลอดเดือนกุมภาพันธ์เมื่อรับประทานอาหารบุฟเฟ่ครบทุก500 บาทรับอั่งเปาฮอตพอตสุดหันษา1 ใบเพื่อลุ้นรับรางวัลจากภาพยนตร์เริ่ม8 กุมภาพันธ์ถึง28 กุมภาพันธ์นี้หรือจนกว่าของจะหมดแจ็คผู้สยบยักษ์28 กุมภาพันธ์ในโรงภาพยนตร์
M Showbiz
ผู้ชมกำลังชมรายการ M Showbiz สารพันบันเทิงเพื่อคนคอหนังกับผมนิวิทรานกันต่อนะครับมาสู่การผ่อนคลายกับมิวสิกวิดีโอจากภาพยนตร์ในกระแสในช่วง Good Song ส่วนจะเป็นมิวสิกวิดีโอจากภาพยนตร์เรื่องอะไรนั้นติดตามรายละเอียดกันได้แล้วครับช่วง Good Songs
จากใจดวงนี้ยังคงมีเธอในหัวใจอยู่เหมือนเดิมรักเธออยู่เหมือนเดิมถึงนานแค่ไหนก็ไม่ยอมให้เธอไปจากใจดวงนี้เป็นความเจ็บปวดที่งดงามที่งดงามอยู่ในใจตลอดไป
ช่วง Best Quote มาถึงช่วงท้ายของรายการแล้วนะครับ ขออนุญาตปิดท้ายด้วย Best Quote ซึ่งวันนี้ขออนุญาตหยิบยืมมาจากภาพยนตร์ที่ทุกคนพูดถึงมากมายกับ Warm Body ซึ่งมีประโยคภาษาอังกฤษว่า Writing isn't letters on paper it's communication it's memory แปลได้ว่าการเขียนไม่ใช่ตัวอักษรบนกระดาษมันคือการสื่อสารมันเป็นความทรงจำทั้งหมดนี้นะครับเป็น 30 นาทีแห่งความบันเทิงที่ผมเฮนริทรานนั้นพาทุกท่านเดินทางไปในโลกภาพยนตร์ไม่ว่าจะเป็นเบื้องหน้าและเบื้องหลังพร้อมทั้งสาระอีกมากมายซึ่งเราติดตามกันได้ทุกสัปดาห์ในเวลาดีๆแบบนี้วันนี้ผมต้องขออนุญาตขอบคุณเสื้อผ้าจากทาง Esprit สัปดาห์หน้าเรากลับมาพบกันใหม่วันนี้ขอให้ทุกท่านมีความสุขในวันพักผ่อนสวัสดีครับ
M Showbiz